Are manga getting adapted too fast? This has been a popular, topic on social media recently. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, saying that manga are getting adapted way too quickly. And in my opinion, there is a lot of truth to this. My name is Birthroad, and we're going to dive into this topic today and just take a look at, different examples, and are manga getting adapted too fast? I think there are plenty of examples of anime that are getting adapted too fast and anime that are not. For example, if we look at a show like the Apothecary Diaries, I mean, that show is so caught up to the manga that they're about to have to, the anime is about to get stuff before the manga gets it. Like, I feel like that is being way too caught up. If you guys want to be caught up on any type of anime content, then make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. It helps me out a lot, and I upload anime videos 3 times a week for you guys to enjoy. But going back to if they are adapted too fast, something like the Apothecary Diaries, if I'm not mistaken, Frieren is similar as well. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it could be incorrect. Or you have a show like Bungo Stray Dogs. When Bungo finished, I was like, man, I can't wait. When's the next season coming out? Come to find out, the first part of Bungo is only 130 chapters, and we already have 5 seasons. And that makes me think, like, what's going on? Some manga do genuinely get adapted too fast. Or do they? In some people's eyes, yes, you got something like the Apothecary Diaries getting adapted way too fast. However, is that necessarily a bad thing? But before we get into that, let me talk about some that are getting adapted very slowly. For example, a lot of these new manga are getting adapted pretty much right away when they come out. For example, ones like Dandadan, for better or for worse. Let's be honest, I'm not a fan of Dandadan, that's besides the point. But a lot of manga are getting adapted very quickly, like Apothecary Diaries did, like Frieren did. However, there are some that have been taking their time. For example, Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi already finished part 1 and it still isn't out, and it's been a top 10 manga since it came out, yet it is taking a very long time for it to get adapted. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Personally, it's a bad thing for me because I really want to see more of it. Like, I love Kagurabachi. But overall, it's really not that big of a deal, I feel like, because it came out, like 2-3 years ago, and at this point now there's going to be a lot for them to adapt, so it should come out probably seasonally, I imagine, is probably what they're going to do with it, but we will see. However, I think there's an argument to be made that this one was adapted too slow. But here's the thing that I don't get, is in the arguments I see, it's like, yes, manga are getting adapted way too fast, that they are getting stuff before the manga does and stuff like that, and my biggest thing is like, why is that a bad thing? I don't really think that's bad at all, because you gotta think about it. Most people that are consuming a story, they are not going to read and watch, they're not going to read the manga and watch the anime. So when people are saying it's getting adapted too fast, is it really? No, because honestly, they're for two different people. Unless if you're a massive fan of it, then you might read both, or like read one and watch both. You get what I'm trying to say. Unless if you're a massive fan of it, it's not going to affect the average person, which is why I don't understand the people that are saying they are too fast or they are too slow, because think about it. Most people that watch anime are not reading the manga for the things they are watching. So for example, for something like Apothecary Diaries, like let's say you're a big fan of that and you really like the anime. If the anime is going to get the stuff before the manga, you're not going to get spoiled. You're probably not going to read the manga for Apothecary Diaries, so if you're getting the stuff before them, you're not going to get spoiled, right? I think that's a real benefit of it in terms of, like, objectively. Like, JJK, imagine if the anime came out at the same time as the manga, we would never get spoiled on anything, even though JJK fans want to spoil absolutely everything. So I think it's actually kind of a good thing that they are getting adapted very fast, because anime fans and manga fans are typically separated. Like, for example, for me, I do like to read some manga, but I read very few manga that have an anime, right? Like, one of them I have been reading is Tokyo Ghoul, because I heard the manga's way better, but I'll probably never watch the anime for that, right? Like, even if I really like the manga, I probably will never watch it. And I think the average fan is kind of like that as well, unless if it's something like really hyped, like for example Kagurabachi. For me, I've read Kagurabachi and I am going to watch that anime. So there is definitely like certain examples of it, but however, for the common anime, you're not going to read the manga and watch the anime. So in terms of are manga getting adapted too fast, I would say no. Definitely not. They're definitely not getting adapted too fast, unless if you are like feel like you're a manga elitist and you're like, oh, you got to read the source material. Like, if you're not like that, bro, then it's not getting adapted too fast. It's really not. However, we are having some issues where some of them are getting adapted too slow. Like Kagurabachi, man, that shit came out 3 years ago. Part 1's already finished, bro. Like, I need that, bro. I need that. Right? But overall, I don't think it's a very big issue within the anime community at all. I think it's kind of been a little bit blown out of proportion, at least the videos I have seen online, because at the end of the day, it's really not a big deal. If you're a manga reader, I think manga readers can't accept that they might be getting something later than the anime viewers, which, hey, step into the shoes, you know what I'm saying? Imagine everybody that likes JJK seeing all those fucking spoilers. It's not nice. So I guess it's kind of a taste of your own medicine type of thing, because if you look at it in an objective way, it's like, who really cares which one comes first, right? The fact of the matter is one of them's coming first and one's not. So if you enjoy one over the other and the other one comes out first, you're probably just gonna get spoiled on it anyway. So I think it's really just manga readers probably just being a little bit upset that they might get spoiled on the manga they like because it's gonna get animated before the manga comes out. And even though that may be a concern, that's not really common. I think Apothecary Diaries is one of the only things that has done that. Mob Psycho did that as well, which that wasn't an issue being adapted too fast. Dude just did not want to finish writing it, which, whatever, bro. But yeah, I think there are very few circumstances like that anyway. Like Apothecary Diaries is one of them, but for the most part, most of these other anime that are adapting the manga too fast, the manga still does get it first. It's just it's just coming out very quickly. So yeah, I'm not really sure why this ended up becoming a topic of discussion, because it's not really that big of a deal in any way. Are manga getting adapted too fast? No. There's very few situations. Like Apothecary Diaries is really, I know I keep mentioning that one, it's really the only one I know to really fit the bill to complain about, because most of these other anime are getting it second. And so to answer the question, no, they're not getting adapted too fast. Some are too slow, some can be a little bit quicker. Now, too slow is really the only issue, because, like, man, we've been waiting on Kagurabachi for how long, man? This shit's about to be a classic. So, yeah, I think they could be too slow, but too fast, no, I think that's a little ridiculous. If you enjoyed this video, though, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe again, please. I know this one's a little bit shorter, but that's because I'm going to be out of town this weekend, and I had to get a bunch of videos prepared, so I do apologize for that, guys. However, also in my description, I have my Discord. Once I hit 50 members, I'm going to be doing a video with you guys, so you guys don't want to miss out on that. Also, I talk about anime a lot and stuff in there. And I have my Twitch in the description. We talk about anime, we play games, we do reaction stuff. We do basically everything in my Twitch as well. So if you just want to come talk to me, you know, live, that's there as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit of a shorter one, and the topic is a little strange because it feels like, after talking about it, it felt like a real big nothing burger, so I do apologize. But I just saw it was going pretty viral recently, so I thought I would talk about it. And yeah, it ended up not being the most interesting conversation. However, I do hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Peace.